I believe there are many challenges to being a woman in leadership. Just in and of itself, being a woman can be challenging living in this Western patriarchal society, which often devalues your very existence. Even in the non-profit sector, which is renowned for having a large percentage of women in it, there's often still a boys' club. There are men running things at the top, with women contributing to the majority of the actual work. Every day, we have to challenge the stereotypes of us that were never built by women, as well as be the best in our fields. We're expected to never show or express feelings, lest we be viewed as emotional, and yet degrading remarks are thrown at us from all sides. All while women's work continues to be undervalued and underpaid, with Australia's national gender pay gap still sitting at 13.4%. All of these issues are then compounded for women of colour and LGBTQIA women, whose struggles are often ignored entirely, and as such, the attitudes and practices which undervalue and discriminate against us often go unchallenged.
I was born in an era when some women were being given more opportunity than others. My parents would have been very happy if I didn't finish my schooling, because it was expected that I would be a homemaker and not have a job, not have a paid employment of any type. So I was discouraged from studying and discouraged from further education. When you grow up in a society that looks at women as having very different roles to men, you take on some of those thoughts yourself. So you actually believe that maybe you should not be taking on the same roles as men. And I certainly fought against that. I've always been a bit feisty and out there in what I think.
There is a perception that women who are strong and confident leaders are often seen as competent but not likeable. And conversely, women who have a softer leadership style can be seen as likeable but not competent. My advice is always to just be yourself and make your own style work for you.
Being a working mum in today's world is a daily challenge, and it's so much more if you're a single mother or you have no family support. There's so many financial and social challenges that come along with that, and some of the expectations set on women by society can sometimes be quite unreasonable. Women are often expected to be superhuman in many ways. Those trying to juggle the demands of a professional career, home, and young children can feel like there's a huge role conflict, which eventually leads many of us to believe that we are better off making a choice between either home or work. We women globally tend to face the so-called motherhood penalty, where we either not supported enough at work or we are passed over for opportunities if we have children or are pregnant. It is not uncommon to see young working mums suffering from burnout.
Many years ago, in the 80s and the 90s, the sorts of challenges that I faced regularly was just blatant discrimination. You could apply for a job and you were told, well, you've got what we need on paper, but you are female, as if that really was a problem.
For me, being in leadership, sometimes the biggest barrier is my own self and my own self-limitations. Having said that, once I've moved into the workforce and started moving with different people, I haven't found that experience everywhere. I have found women who are more empowered and women who helped me to be empowered in that space, and men who have been very supportive and realise that women have exactly the same rights and the skills that they have, and have encouraged me.
As an organisation, one of the things that we have done is acknowledge the role of women in the household as well as women in the workplace. So we've created career pathways and progression pathways, including support with study assistance, traineeships, mentoring, coaching. We've given support to mothers by understanding the role of mother and not asking that role to necessarily be separated. We have provided work flexibility, the ability to work from home, job share opportunities and part-time work, and carer responsibilities. some of the most amazing women I have working for me work from home and have their children who are at their feet when they're working. And I don't have an issue with that, because ultimately what I find from those women is they work harder than anyone else. And so what I have to be careful about is that there is a balance of their own healthcare and own well-being, but acknowledging that they have the capacity to be a mother and a worker at the same time. And as a CEO, I love the idea that I get to know their children as well in the workplace, because often they'll turn up to a meeting or they'll pop in the middle of a discussion. And I think that also role models for their young children that women can have dual roles of mother, worker, leader.
I think when you have a CEO and an executive team, like we do at Interrelate, that truly understand and embrace what it means to include, to really be, to have diversity and inclusion, then it sends a really clear message of zero tolerance for discrimination.
I feel highly privileged to be working for an organization such as Interrelate that has been so supportive of mothers trying to have successful careers. We are lucky to have a CEO that truly understands the challenges of being a working mother with young children. Personally speaking, flexible working hours, the option to work from home, trust from management in my capabilities and work ethics, a part-time position, all of it put together allowed me to come back to work from maternity leave. I don't know how else I would have done it otherwise. So this year, I choose to challenge all employers to step up and offer working mums the resources they need to successfully progress in their careers.
This year, as with all years, I am personally choosing to challenge the status quo, not just for myself, but for those that have it harder than I do. I am committed to leveraging my privilege to benefit all women.